Thank you. Tonight I would like to draw your attention to a very important initiative, the Plant-Based Treaty. The treaty is both practical and solution-focused. It advocates for individuals, groups, businesses and cities to shift towards a plant-based food system and in doing so align with the environmental goals of the Paris Agreement. In the words of the Plant-Based Treaty, food systems are at the heart of combating the climate crisis. The treaty's three core principles include preventing further degradation or deforestation for animal agribusiness, transitioning away from animal-based food systems to plant-based systems, and actively restoring key ecosystems. It makes complete sense, especially since the UN recognises that animal agribusiness is the single largest contributor to global greenhouse gas emissions. This has led 30 cities around the world, including Amsterdam, Los Angeles and Edinburgh, to endorse a call for national governments to negotiate a global plant-based treaty. In Amsterdam, implementation of the Plant-Based Treaty includes plans for all major employers and public institutions to introduce plant-based meal options and vegan Fridays. This means there's at least one truly sustainable and compassionate meal each week at hospitals, community centres and care institutions. Meanwhile, in Haywards Health in the UK, the Council has chosen the Plant-Based Treaty and food waste reduction as the cornerstone of its environmental initiative. This local council is now building test cases for 100% plant-based catering at public events. According to the local Greens councillor, Deanna Nicholson, not only is Haywards Health reducing its carbon footprint, but it is also now providing more inclusive events for the community. Ultimately, plant-based food systems are key for social inclusion. And I'm pleased to share the news that in June, Darebin City Council has become the first Australian city to endorse the Plant-Based Treaty. The motion was approved with overwhelming support, receiving 8 votes in favour and only 1 against. The decision was visionary and rational, and Darebin is now carving the way for other Australian cities and councils to do the same. Darebin Mayor Susan Newton explains that as one of the regions of the world that could suffer some of the worst climate impacts, we should and can be doing all we can to change our habits for the better. So far, 29 individual councils in Australia have endorsed the Plant-Based Treaty, with support continuing to grow. The Plant-Based Treaty has received support from 150,000 individual endorsers around the world, 5 Nobel laureates, IPCC scientists, and more than 3,000 groups and businesses, including the Animal Justice Party, the Australian Vegetarian Society, Animals Australia, and chapters of Greenpeace and Friends of the Earth. Even the Mayor of New York, Eric Adams, has introduced plant-based initiatives. Cultural events hosted by the Mayor's office are now exclusively plant-based. Plant-based meals are the default option in hospitals. All public schools serve vegan meals on Fridays, and for the first time, New York is measuring its consumption-based food emissions. They have already seen better health outcomes and significant emission reductions for the city. If a mega metropolis like New York can do it, surely we can too. The reasons are compelling. We're talking about community inclusion, food justice and security, reducing our carbon footprint and ensuring a sustainable future for all. Most importantly, we're talking about the immediate impact that compassionate alternatives have in saving billions of individual animals from a lifetime of exploitation and suffering. Animals are not here for us. Our systems of exploitation cannot continue, and one day these systems will be relics. The shift to plant-based food systems is a necessary and inevitable shift if we are going to have any chance at a healthy and viable planet. It's also a shift that brings with it immense opportunity, potential and innovation. I strongly encourage all local councils in New South Wales to endorse the Plant-Based Treaty. Even closer to home, I invite all members of Parliament and staff who are interested in New South Wales Parliament House becoming a more sustainable place of governance to reach out. Step by step, we can make this a kinder, more inclusive and forward-thinking institution.